The French Dispatch is a Wes Anderson film. Didn't really know much about this, but it's based off of a magazine, I believe, and it's essentially an anthology of 3 stories based off of the writers for The French Dispatch. It is a sort of a supplementary magazine to a larger newspaper, and the editor-in-chief, he coddles his writers, and he has them write these gargantuan pieces for their little news article thing. So the first story is about a tortured artist, a psychopath in prison who is very talented. He gets discovered by another inmate who is in there for tax fraud, and this man starts sponsoring him and trying to make him be the new thing. So it's a really interesting little story about art. It's very quirky, a little bit of romance in there, and it's probably the best short story out of the 3. The second one is about French revolutionaries, students. Timothy Chalamet is in there with another few other people, Frances McDormand. And then the third one is about a commissioner for the police force with a really eccentric lieutenant chef and the food critic writer who has dinner with him, but then the commissaire's son gets kidnapped by some villains. So overall, the 3 stories are entertaining and charming. However, you really feel that this is one of his more indulgent movies. There's a lot of style on there, so much that the 3rd act climax is done animated just because it's so extravagant. I guess they ran out of budget or something. There's a reason why they did it animated. But I just sort of realized that Wes Anderson, he can get a really stacked cast of all the people that he's worked with before, but they end up being kind of distracting. You know, there's 12 main cast members all thrown in there, but I found myself gravitating and more interested by the ones where featuring actors and actresses that he's not worked with before. So the painter in prison storyline has Benicio del Toro and Léa Seydoux, and then the second one has Timothy Chalamet, or no, you have to say it correctly, Timothée Chalamet. And then the third one has Stephen Park in it, the eccentric chef. So the stories which involves, actors and actresses that he hasn't been with are more interesting. He shouldn't use too much of his muses too much, because it ends up being really distracting for one thing, but it's also kind of tired. I've seen Adrian Brody and Grand Budapest doing the same kind of character. Bill Murray's there, you got Tilda Swinton in there, all these people that he's worked with before. You're kind of I've seen all these people before in his other movies. It'd be more interesting to see him try to work with new people and try new things, because this one is just basically just an anthology movie, and it's entertaining in parts, but overall it's whimsical, but not much else. There's a lot of style on display, but not much else. I wish to see Wes Anderson take more risks in the future. So The French Dispatch is okay, and I give it a 6.5 out of 10.